Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Rose Tarot and Astrology. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a short reading. We're going to look at the weekend energy. I am going to touch on the astrology, just give everyone a reminder. We do have some pretty big transits happening this weekend, so I want to make sure we touch on that and everyone is prepared for that energy. Guys, remember, we are multi streaming, so we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. So welcome everyone. I see everyone starting to come in. All right, let me get to the astrology of it. Again, I'm just going to do a little recap. We did go over all of April astrology, but I thought it would be a good idea just to touch on these next few days, starting with today. So, guys, yesterday was my birthday, if you remember, on the 17th, and today is the 18th. And on the 18th, we have Mars entering Leo. So, this energy, very powerful, very potent. You guys are probably feeling it for days in advance. And as it moved in today, I imagine that it kind of feels like something was coming to a boiling point, if that makes sense, right? So that is the energy that everyone has experienced. And we experienced it in different ways, of course. For me, I feel like the whole boiling point thing really like rings the bell, hits home. But here's what I want to say about Mars entering Leo today, guys. This is very much where things are coming full circle. So if you feel like you dropped the ball on something back in November or December of 2024, um, this is where it's coming full circle. And this time it's more exciting. So keep that in mind. That's going to be the positive part of Mars entering Leo, right? I do want to point out that tonight the moon is going to enter into Capricorn. And of course, that is about always Capricorn is long term plans. Tomorrow, the 19th, the sun will enter Taurus. So happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. We're going to be working on confidence, new and more resources, financial opportunities, and really, I think being present is going to be the most important energy that we focus on all of Taurus season, but that will start on Saturday. And then, of course, 20th is a holiday for those of you that celebrate. It's Easter, so happy Easter, everyone. And then, of course, Venus in Pisces, sextile Uranus in Taurus. That's going to be powerful energy as well. You'll probably hear a lot of people talk about that particular transit on the 20th. This energy, it's funny how things work out the way they do because it is a holiday here in the US, whether, I mean, I guess you could celebrate Easter and be anywhere in the world. But it's the energy of the astrology is about gathering with your friends, gathering with your family, really spending close time with friends and family. So how perfect is it when the astrology matches the holiday, right? All right, let's see. Sandra comes in and says, I had sporadic crying spells this morning. No clue why. I feel like that was me a couple of days ago, overwhelming, and it definitely emotional for sure. Today it was more of that Mars energy. And Mars cries. Like I don't want to pretend like Mars is not a crybaby planet because it is. But when Mars is leaving Cancer, it's like leaving some type of like therapy rehab, right? So it's running into Leo, and Leo is the courageous lion. We're going to go do something courageous now, right? So it's almost like Mars can't wait to get out of Cancer and rushes into that Leo energy. And I think that was the energy that we felt, that kind of felt like it was coming to a boiling point, right? If that makes sense. All right, so I know that originally we were going to do an upload today, but guys, I think we're gonna, I will be working my summer job, but I feel like the later hours really won't come in until the season picks up. So I'm kind of excited about that. That just means that I get to be here with you guys more often live during the week, right? So I think we're going to stick with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. So after tonight, I will be back Monday night and we'll do love and astrology and we'll offer some free and paid mini readings. Now, tonight, I would like to read for the collective for the weekend so we can see how this Mars and Leo energy is going to impact us. And then I would like to pick just a few. I don't want to make a list or anything like that, ladies. I'd really like for you to be present and just enjoy the reading to all my moderators, right? But I would like to just pick the ones that Spirit says, hey, they need to get a reading, and offer some free twin flame current energy read. So if you're interested in that, please hang out. And that will be, of course, at the end. I see Dina coming in. Welcome. Michelle is here. Welcome. All right. Let me make sure everything is good. And we'll go ahead and get started with the collective. All right, I'm going to start with Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. And I'm going to look at masculine energy and feminine energy, and of course, our bridging energy with this oracle set. All right, so masculine energy is coming out. Krishna, this is devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. So this is the masculine making a commitment, I think, to their own awakening, their own journey. But it could also have something to do with partnership energy, of course. Let's look at the feminine energy. We have Mother Mary coming out. How many of you guys been feeling this energy, the Mother Mary energy? I don't really talk too much about the different, spiritual guidance teachers that we have, because I feel like I don't want to step on people's toes, right? Like, we get people that watch PLR literally from all around the world. There's people all around the world having this type of spiritual awakening, right? These are like the perfect cards, right? Keepers of the Light. It's like all of the masters, all of the spiritual masters, all in one oracle set. So that's coming out pretty strongly for me. But the Mother Mary energy has been really strong, I would say, for several weeks now. Love and peace. And it says, let go of the need to be right. Ooh, that's a big one. And choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. If y'all know me, the let go of the need to be right. Right? All right, let's look at the bridging energy. The bridging energy, we have Paul the Venetian experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming your way. Sometimes when we do these lives, I swear I can feel, I don't know, you know how like when we have that home feeling when we connect with each other, and it's different when you connect with people that are not awake, right? And it's different when you connect with people that are having a spiritual awakening, but maybe they're not having the same type of spiritual awakening that you're having, right? um so when we connect and it's like we're having the same type of awakening, we're trying to balance these masculine and feminine energies out, right? For most of us, someone comes into our environment, shakes our foundation, um, until we have to rebuild, right? And so when we connect with each other, we get that feeling of home. Sometimes when I'm doing these readings, and we all come in together and we're all kind of experiencing that same type of collective energies, which really is just the astrology that's happening, and we're all just kind of learning how to work with those energies, right? I can feel the wave. Does that make sense? Like, I can feel, I don't know, like that wave of love, the wave of comfort, the wave of home, right? Like, oh, there's people and they're like me, right? Sometimes when we're doing these lives, it definitely comes in really, really strong. Kutimi, Cloak of Wisdom, is on the bottom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. All right, so for the bridging energy, we have experiencing grace, the share your gifts. How many of you are also learning how to read tarot or learning about astrology? Or how many of you are just sharing your testimony, like what happened to you, like what catapulted your spiritual awakening, how your dark night of the soul experience was, right? How many of you feel like you're doing that, like you're sharing your journey with other people? I'm finding it really interesting because remember, I'm like on this side of the screen. So it's like I get to see all of you guys. And I'm finding it really interesting how many of us are starting to do that. It's becoming more and more common, right? All right, let's start with Krishna devotion. So the masculine energy, I want to say there's this commitment, but look how the Three of Pentacles comes out right away. Spirit's gonna get me tonight. I can feel it. But so the devotion card, I want to be like, oh, divine masculine is committed and devoted to their journey, to their awakening, maybe to following their purpose, maybe to sharing their testimony, right? Um, but the energy that I'm picking up is, I think that we're all kind of busy at this time of year, right? It's springtime. It's like I like to call it the beginning of the year. So it's like the energy just starts to kick off, and that really makes sense because, again, springtime, right? But I feel like we're all kind of being asked to ground in our our spiritual lessons. I think that we're all being asked to really integrate and start using what we've learned every single day, every single day. And there's something with the masculine energy that's coming up that has to do with like every single day, like being consistent. And then, of course, that could have something to do with like self discipline. So that's what I'm getting for devotion for divine masculine. Three of Pentacles is like spirit saying, I need you to do your part and then I'll do my part, right? And then we work together. We also have King of Wands coming out and the Four of Swords. King of Wands is about courage, and Four of Swords is about healing. So again, this is very much like divine masculine going through their spiritual awakening, coming out of dark night of the soul, spiritual practices, the daily practices that need to happen, where spirit's asking you to show up. I touched on that a little bit in our last live, where I was like, I don't do these lives because like they are fun, right? But this is my awakening, right? Like hi, I'm Rosa over here and I'm having a spiritual awakening. And this is where spirit asks me to show up, right? So I can't just be like, spirit, I'm calling out today. We're not gonna do a live. We're not gonna read for the collective, and we're not gonna let people know that, we're all experiencing the same energies and lessons, right? That's a no. Like that never happens. Now, of course, if I don't feel good or something that's beyond my whatever control, which is not, it's pretty rare, then spirit allows us to reschedule. Right? That's happened from time to time. But yeah, there's this energy for divine masculine where you're being asked to step up and show up. I think that's what I'm hearing. All right, Mother Mary, love and peace. This is the feminine energy. I've been feeling this energy strongly, like I said earlier, for several weeks. So it's almost like um, we really focused on Christ consciousness. Okay, so when you have spiritual awakening and you're in that dark night of the soul, for most of us, right? Um, it was the Christ consciousness. That's what like pulls us out of dark night of the soul. That's the lessons that we're learning and the focus. For me, I kept seeing Jesus, so I was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to go to church. So I started going to church, right? Which I'm not saying don't go to church. I mean, church can be wonderful if that's your thing, right? But I didn't realize that when I was seeing Jesus everywhere, that it wasn't like Jesus, the person, it was the Christ consciousness energy, right? So when you're having spiritual awakening, you realize like, oh, we're cleansing, we're purifying, and we're moving into this Christ consciousness, right? That's why a lot of us will start exercising or learn about like different things like breath work and yoga, and we'll start our diets will change. We'll quit drinking and smoking and stuff like that. And I do feel like that is what's happening for divine feminine, because we are moving into that cleansing, into that Christ consciousness energy, and you have to, of course, be cleansed in order to be in that energy. So when the Mother Mary card or energy has been coming at me the last couple of weeks, it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like a leveling up. It's almost like we have surrendered to something, accepted something, um, been willing to work towards something, and now this is different. This is a different type of energy. It feels powerful. It feels powerful. Um, and I'm noticing it like in my like everywhere I go. I don't know. um, I'm just noticing it like in my energy and my presence, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And maybe even in my communication and my speech. Let me know if that's the same for you guys, for those of you that really, resonate with the divine feminine energy. All right, let's look at Mother Mary, love and peace. For the divine feminine, it's been working on triggers, control issues. We're not always right all the time, right? But I think it's been more about that energy of just walking away from something and not giving something your energy, like just letting God do his job and letting, like, the world or the universe teach people the lessons that they need to learn in their lifetime. You know what I'm trying to say? And just walking away with no reaction, no response. I think that has been um like something very strongly collective for the divine feminine, right? Temperance coming out, big confirmation. Sagittarius energy, but that is healing and that is what's happening. High priestess, more confirmation. Look at that. Divine feminine and ace of wands. Oh my gosh, spirit loves me. The high priestess, of course, is your inner knowing, and ace of wands is like fate, destiny. It's you see the major arcanas. It's definitely this energy of leveling up. So that tells me too that the divine feminine energy really feels supported at this time. And I know that's true for me. Like when I'm out in the world and it's like, I don't know, it's like I know that as long as I'm coming from like good intention and I'm following my guidance, like um yeah, like it's weird. It's like I've always thought that I was too loud, and it's like come to find out I can be loud, but I just needed to like fine tune that loudness. Does that make sense? All right, let's look at Paul the Venetian. So experiencing grace. Share your gifts with the world. So this is our bridging energy. So our bridging energy, that means, in other words, the same spiritual lesson we're all learning on this journey, right? Is going to be that we need to share our story. We need to tell people what happened to us. We need to, what do they call it? Speak your testimony. Write a book, start a channel, all the things. And I feel like many of you are doing that. I feel like a lot of us work through that imposter syndrome energy, right? That was really strong in the collective for quite some time, especially for the divine feminine. And it's like we've pushed through that. We don't necessarily have that imposter syndrome anymore. Now we have this weird bashfulness, like we're shy and don't want to tell people, what happened to us. All right, let's see what comes out. Paul the Venetian. So we have Nine of Cups, divine wishes being granted. We have the World. This is about new opportunities coming in. And we have Knight of Pentacles, which is about getting to work. Something could be coming into that you feel like took a long time, something you've been asking for or manifesting. And for some of you, Seven of Cups is on the bottom. So for some of you, I feel like this is a person. There's some type, I'm hearing a word, like a mentor, a teacher. There's like someone that could be coming into your energy to teach you something or guide you in a certain direction in your spiritual journey. Maybe help you pick with options or choices, right? Seven of Cups on the bottom. All right, so I'm going to use the Yin Yang Oracle. Let's do a little head, heart, and higher self. Star Leva, welcome. All right, so let's start with the masculine. Remember, masculine energy, it's about devotion. It's about meeting spirit. Spirit was like, I'll meet you halfway. I need you to meet me halfway. It was that energy. All right, so we have limitations and fears coming out in the headspace for divine masculine. We have assistance and spirit guides in the heart space for divine masculine. This is a message. I mean, I got it right away. Coming from divine masculine to divine feminine. Divine masculine could feel like they're struggling to hear the messages. I felt that at the very beginning when I started the live, and I was starting with that masculine energy. Um, it just kind of got smoother and came in after that. But divine masculine could feel like, look how there's so many major arcanas over here for divine feminine, but there's not for divine masculine. Divine masculine could be having a hard time hearing the messages, understanding spirit. Um, I think it's more about just hearing the messages because they try to come out in reverse. So it's like they may even think that like their ancestors aren't there, their spirit guides aren't there, spirit, source isn't there, right? Like they may even think that at moments. It's definitely like a message and almost like a crying out in the heart space. All right, let's look at higher self. We have receive and open. So they're closed off. Their fear is keeping them closed off from something. And their higher self lesson for masculine at this time is going to be open to receive, be open to receive, right? All right, let's look at the feminine energy. Starting out in the headspace, we have present and gratitude. I know that has been big for divine feminine. My journey is so much, it's like so in your face. Very much being present. We can't have that. I love when I think that these are going to be short and then spirit's like, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that, we're going to talk about this. All right, let me see if I can get it all out. Okay, so if we being present is important because if we worry about what's going to happen or if we're stressed out about things like about things that have already happened, then we're not being present, right? And when we're worried or we have anxiety or we're anxious, then, and don't shoot the messenger here, okay? But that means that your faith is lacking, right? Does that make sense? Like you can't have faith and be anxious for something or worry about something. And you can't be present if you're worried about something. Please tell me it makes sense. So, in the headspace for divine feminine, being present and having gratitude is going to be huge. I noticed last weekend when I started my summer job, I love my summer job because it's on the lake and I get to do the kids' activities and I get to do like the funnest part of the whole thing, right? So I remember like my first day going, I was excited and I was like, um, you know, the things like all the stuff I was going to be able to do were just kind of coming to my mind and everything was just kind of flowing out easily. The gratitude was just flowing out easily. And it wasn't one of those things where I had to like practice gratitude. It was one of those things where I was just doing it naturally. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. What do they say? Practice makes perfect. So that definitely was coming. So, but what I've been feeling the last couple of days, especially with the Leo energy, like coming from that critical Cancer and moving into, the um, Mars, moving in from Cancer into Leo. I feel like that energy kind of again had that boiling point. So it's been more about um, trying to be present. That's been the gratitude, not so, not so hard. But the being present has definitely been a more of a challenge, I would say, for divine feminine. In the heart space, we have epiphany, breakthrough. I feel like you could be having a lot of epiphanies and breakthroughs, a lot of aha moments, I like to call it, at this time for divine feminine. I do feel you're sharing that information with divine masculine. So divine masculine does have this energy of crying out in the heart space, like, I can't hear spirit, I can't hear the messages, I don't understand. Something's not coming in clearly for divine masculine. But it is because they need to be more open to receive, right? Something about their fears. But for divine feminine, there's these big aha moments happening, and definitely could be sharing that energy with divine masculine through the heart space. All right, and then higher self, we have thoughts in isolating. I don't feel like we're necessarily isolating at this time. Again, higher self lesson. I think that's more confirmation where I was like, we're starting to share um, our gifts. We're starting to share our stories. We're starting to share our wisdom, our experiences, what we've learned, right? All right, bottom of the deck, I do see past, lack, and suffering. I do feel like that's energy. How many of you feel like I don't want to say the energy of lack is leaving us, but it feels that way, which is super interesting because if you're like in today's time, I'm live streaming on April 18th of 2025. Finances are pretty hard for a lot of people at this time. And I know that abundance doesn't always have to be about finances, but it feels like that's what we're really focused on at this time, especially if you're here in the US with me, right? So there's this energy of lack around us, around the collective, but it's weird because it's almost like we're not letting it touch us or like we're not letting it into our space or environment. So I'm finding that interesting as well. All right, let's pull some messages. And we'll start with divine masculine to divine feminine. So the first one I have that comes out says the most difficult conversations lead to relationship growth if handled correctly. I feel like I just seen that one not too long ago. This twin flame journey is teaching me to love myself and I'm actually doing it. I love that. This is very 3D. That one is very higher self message. This is, but what about all the promises that were made to me coming out for divine masculine? All right, let's start with divine feminine to divine masculine. I feel like this energy here, these are the runner chaser cards, twin flame message cards. So I feel that energy is very much chaser energy coming from divine masculine. I know, I said it. All right, divine feminine. We have when emotions are high, can you soothe yourself? That's definitely something that we're learning and experiencing collectively at this time. Sometimes there is no solution. It's okay to have difference of opinion. Can you hug it out? I love that. That's definitely that Mother Mary energy. Keep the peace. You don't always have to be right energy. And last one coming out, these are all higher self messages for divine feminine to divine masculine. You told yourself to try harder with communicating effectively. Now is the time. Now is the time. Divine feminine telling divine masculine, now is the time to communicate effectively. All right. I did pull out the angel inspiration oracle for guidance. Faith over fear. Yes, Sherry. All right, let's see. So many. So we have Archangel Ragul. I've been seeing this one a lot. And I mean, it makes sense because of the whole Mars energy. Guys, Mars is the planet of aggression, right? It's the roar. It's moving into the Leo lion energy. It's a louder roar. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's definitely like it's not surprising to see the Archangel Ragul. It's this energy of needing to come out and be the peacemaker. We saw that keep the peace card with the divine feminine energy. And divine feminine, I feel like a lot of you have talked to me and messaged me, in your one-on-ones, private readings. I feel like you've mentioned that, things feel you've been a little testy, right? But I do want to say that I feel like for the most part, we're seeing it. We're seeing the triggers. We're seeing our reactions to things, and that's the whole part of healing. That's the whole part of this awakening, right? When you see it, when you have acknowledge it, you change it, right? You heal it. That's what it is. You're healing it. All right, so we have 40 courage coming out, and that, I mean, we all have to have that as we move through this journey. Archangel Jophiel is here. It's number 6. And on the bottom, number 13, be discerning. I want to read number 6, Archangel Jophiel. So Archangel Jophiel is beauty, joy, and enlightenment. Jophiel assists you in seeing beauty in the world around you and finding joy through your own unique form of creative expression. Look how Spirit wraps it all up in one card. In a world where there's often much ugliness, he illuminates the people and experiences that come into your life and asks you to pause and appreciate them. Call on Jophiel when you lack the spark of joy in your life. He will assist you in finding the answers, clearing the fog of day to day struggles, allowing you to insightfully bring your awareness to matters that have been unclear, helping you find the silver lining and the beauty of all things. If you lack inspiration or are in a creative block, call upon Archangel Jophiel to bring enlightenment through new ideas and opportunities. Jophiel asks, do you only focus on the ugliness in the world around you? Does nothing in your life bring you joy anymore? Tell yourself, I'm surrounded by great beauty and inspiration at all times. Archangel Jophiel fills my life with much joy. All right, guys, that is going to be Weekend Collective. I hope that was helpful. I am going to clean up really quickly, and then I am going to offer just a few current energy readings. So if anybody is interested, let me know in the comments. Not too bad. I got a little nervous when we pulled out the current energies at the beginning. I was like, oh, thought we were gonna get spankings. But not too bad. I feel like for the most part, definitely moving into alignment. How many of you feel that? I think I'm just gonna use the Light Seers Tarot. If you do get a reading, I will pull a Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray for a guidance card. All right, I'm almost ready. I'm going to look over there and I'm just going to pick the one that Spirit says. And then that's what we're going to do. All right. I see it right away. I don't want to say it wrong. Ravitaha? Ravitaha? I feel like I didn't say that right, did I? I did. There we go. We clicked on it. Tiona. Thank you, Diana. I love you so much. All right, I think I'm supposed to do Ravita. And I know I'm saying it wrong. But I got your name on the screen there. I'm only doing current energies tonight. So I'm just going to tell you your masculine, your feminine energies. Look at that. The Lovers flies out. My clue card for the twin flame journey, right? And then I will tell you, did I say bridging energy? And then I'll pull a guidance card from the Keepers of the Light. All right, so your masculine energy, the Lovers comes out. There's a lot of passion. The red is sticking out to me. Fire, passion, heat. It's Gemini energy. This could be how they're feeling emotionally. There could be like emotions being stirred, right? It does have like a really strong sexual type of energy to it, which is super funny because the Hermit is coming out for the feminine energy. So your feminine energy, so like the masculine energy is like, I don't know, hot, heavy, passionate, very Mars, right? And the Hermit is very pulled back. Um, I don't know, secluded. It's weird because I'm getting fire for this sign, and I'm getting more. Oh, don't let me lose it. Um, the Hermit is Virgo. It's Earth energy, but I'm getting more of like watery, emotional. Maybe even some Scorpio. Super funny, right? It's totally different cards than what they are, but this person very passionate, this energy very withdrawn, more about spiritual enlightenment. This could be ascension as well. All right, bridging energy. There's a tower, and that's Mars. Um, Something could definitely be surprising or shocking. This could have something to do with a timing. If you had like a timing question, something could happen quicker than you expected. All right, guidance card. Kalima, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Cloak of wisdom is on the bottom. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. Hope that was helpful. All right, next. Let's do Star Leva. Vanessa, I see you over there on Facebook. All right, Starla, let's start masculine energy. We have Eight of Swords. That's that limitation and fears card. Remember we saw it for the masculines and the headspace, the limitation fears. Eight of Swords is definitely this is gonna be your masculine energy. It's very like restricted. The crows are giving me like they're fearful of something. The crows are also like there's messages, so they could be fearful of sending a message or fearful of communicating, something like that. Fearful of opening up to communication. All right, let's see what's coming out for the feminine. So I feel like that also came out in the collective for feminine energy. The High Priestess, that's your inner knowing. So it's almost like you are picking up energy from masculine energy. It could have something to do with like sporadic words, communication. It's like it's small. It's not. It's like fear to open up coming from the masculine, and you're picking that energy up. But you're channeling. It's like you're putting all of your energy into. I don't know, coming into some type of alignment. Your connection to spirit could be important to you at this time as well. The High Priestess. Oh, Star Love, I just got a big message, and I don't know if it's for you. I'm not sure. Okay, you could be dealing with distractions as well. And I feel like it's very possible you could be learning the importance of focusing either on your journey, on your spiritual practices, on your alignment. My ears just started ringing. All right, let's look at your bridging energy, your current spiritual lesson. We do have Scorpio coming out, strong death and rebirth. So coming to an end of something. There's a lot of pressure with this energy, and it's like the pressure is exploding off the top with this energy. You see that? Um, there is something that's like it's coming to an end. It's being transmuted. It's definitely like lighter energy or darker energy to lighter energy. You could be helping the masculine energy, like the feminine energy could be helping the masculine energy break through some type of fear, some type of self-limitation, and you could know that you're doing it. All right, here's a guidance card, not in reverse. It just pulled the whole thing. Look, big confirmation. Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. I love it. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Hope that was helpful. All right, I think I'm going to do one more, guys. One more. To Vanessa. Diana says, Michelle, I ordered your Moon Lover t-shirt. I love that. All right, I'm going to do Vanessa's just really quickly. And then I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I need a shower. I went and did rock painting today. That's what we did today. We all had. It was funny because Michelle. I was telling everyone I wanted, help me out with coming up with some ideas for the kids' activities for the season, right? And Michelle said something about rock painting and painting like inspirational, motivational words on the rock. She had seen it somewhere, and I thought it was so funny because, oh, thank you, Starlova. But I thought it was funny because I had added that to the calendar. I was like, great minds, right? Great minds think alike. And today we got the paint, and it was like I couldn't not do it. I was so excited. I definitely wanted to do it, so we did today. Some of the kids made like characters, cartoon character. Amelia was with me. She made an amazing SpongeBob. But yeah, we for the most part we did like the little motivational, inspirational words on them. That was pretty cool. All right, Vanessa. Last one, ladies. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys so very much. I will be back Monday night. We will be back with love and astrology, and I will offer some free and paid mini readings on Monday night. I am going to take the weekend. Of course, I work all day tomorrow with activities. We're doing the egg hunt, so I'm really excited for that. And then I'm going to take Sunday to catch up on all my other stuff. Yeah, and then I will see everyone Monday. All right, Vanessa, masculine energy first. Masculine energy, 2 cards. We have the Page of Cups coming out and Temperance. Ooh, slow moving. There's something about healing, spiritual awakening for your masculine energy. And it's funny because with the Page of Cups, masculine, this particular card in the Light Series Tarot, it shows the little pig flying in the air. And it is this energy of like when pigs fly. So you could be like struggling to believe something about the masculine energy, maybe something that has to do with healing or something that is taking a long time because temperance is very slow moving energy. All right, let's see. We have 6 of Swords coming out. Let's get 2 since we got 2, and the Emperor. The feminine energy is being guided to take control of something, maybe some type of leadership role. That could have something to do with a job. It's giving like a little bit of a boss type of energy. All right, let's look at the bridging energy. 2 of Cups comes out. It did try to fly a little sideways. You see that? Two of Cups is equal effort. It is, it's actually soulmate energy, but it's about coming together, equal effort. It's like it's going to take two type of thing is what I'm picking up. It's going to take two. All right, let's pull a guidance card for Vanessa. We have Master Jesus, forgiveness. You're on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. Coming together, Vanessa. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Hope those were helpful. All right, guys, don't forget the astrology. Mars and Leo can definitely be a little feisty, right? But we're ready. We can handle it. All right, guys, I will see everyone Monday night. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.